2024 elections are out, and some are happy, some are not happy. Looks like everyone may not be most happy because maybe people had different expectations, and we are not sure to what extent whose expectations were fulfilled. Hmm, However, there is something interesting that has attracted me towards this, that is making me get into this analysis of election. Interestingly, okay, there are people who would be happy that their party is winning. There are people who would be not happy because they might not be getting the highest majority in their party. There is one constituency which has over 1 lakh nota votes. So that was something which caught my attention. And of course, it has also been noted that there has been a decline in number of voters. So, what is happening here? So, that is interesting. That is something which we have to analyze. It is quite clear there has been dissatisfaction among people about the leaders. Uh, but the main reason for that, what is the main reason for that? Why has there been dissatisfaction among people towards the leaders? There is complete lack of clarity among it. It was thought that by religious propaganda and bringing people towards particular religion, there would be a lot of votes. But then that didn't happen. The party got disappointed, and where the great Ram Mandir was constructed in the same constituency, unfortunately, that party had to lose. So one thing is quite clear: people, it had to be understood right from the beginning that God, people are not interested so much into God or God consciousness. It's the present society is a society of selfish people, and votes are mustered by the selfish for the selfish, and it's the government of the selfish. So, overall, this was pointed out quite clearly by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada years ago. I would like to read a few quotes in this regard. When a Vaishnava king like Dhruva Maharaj is the head of the government of the entire world, the world is so happy that it is not possible to imagine and describe. Even now, if people would all become Krishna conscious, the democratic government of the present day would be exactly like the kingdom of heaven. If all people become Krishna conscious, they would vote for a person of the category of Dhruva Maharaj. If the post of the chief executive were occupied by such a Vaishnava, all problems of the satanic government would be resolved. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.9.66 purport. The point here to be noted is that when we are saying the Vaishnava king, when we are saying the Krishna conscious, it is basically not a sectarian sect of a particular religion, but it is the consciousness of God which he is hinting here. The present day, the thing lacking in the present day society is God consciousness. With all the luxuries, with all the facilities, the society is not God conscious, and the consequence of that is there is lack of satisfaction towards the leaders. So, there is a need to train politicians in God consciousness, in morality, in ethics, and for that, there is also a need to train the voters in politics, in ethics, in morality, and God consciousness. Further, it is said, in the present age, the king or the present forgets that he is the servant of God and thinks himself as a servant of the people. The present democratic government is proclaimed to be a people's government, a government by the people and for the people. But this type of government is not sanctioned in the Vedas. The Vedas maintain that the kingdom should be governed for the purpose of satisfying Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore should be represented by the representative of God. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.45. Here there is a clear reference that the democratic governments will fail. Why democratic governments will fail? Because the voters are selfish. As a consequence, they will definitely elect people who are selfish. The need of the day, traditionally, that was not the case. Traditionally, kingship was there, king's rule was there, and in king's rule, the candidate to be nominated as a king would be trained in this right from childhood. He would go to the Gurukula and learn under a teacher the right morality and ethics as defined in the Vedic scriptures. And in this way, once sufficiently trained, he would be allowed to rule the kingdom. You okay? We have been brainwashed with so many things. What are the things that we have been brainwashed? Oh, king rule was very bad. Suppose a dictator comes, how will you throw him out? Suppose a bad king comes, how will you throw him out? And it's the birthright, there is no opportunity for others. So do you think these problems are addressed by democracy today? Suppose a bad person comes in democracy, is there a way that you are throwing out? No, you have to stand in line and the vote. And even the greatest party with the difference today, there were such huge scams in one of its coalition, and the coalition MP candidate just fled out of the country. The party with the difference could not do anything. They had to rely on them and they had to accept his MP candidature. So this is the situation. Are you able to stop bad candidates today? No, you are still not able to stop. They are going to become MPs and leaders of the society. Then second thing is birthright. Do you think democracy has solved the problem of birthright? How many candidates are there whose sons are further becoming candidates for the post of MPs and MLAs? Do you think this birthright is solved now? No, it's still not solved, and it's present in all the political parties across. It's not just the prerogatory dynasty politics is not subject to one party, it's present across all the parties everywhere. So the problem is still not solved. You have still not brought a higher standard yet. So why not accept the system which Krishna Balrama had demonstrated, with Lord Ramchandra had demonstrated, where the person is trained in kingship right from childhood, and that way such a morally trained person becomes the ruler of the state. And is it sufficient that a person becomes king that way? No, he is governed, he is directed, he is guided by highly moral people like Chanakya or like King, Vasishtha Muni or like Dronacharya. These people had read scriptures, they had led a life of high morality, and they would not be dependent on this government for salary. That way, the government would be eternally obliged to them to receive instructions, to receive chastisement from them. So that was the high level of morality among the kings and among the advisors of the king. Today we have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The legislature comes by votes. The executive, is it corruption free? No, not at all. Even the executive class, they may be quite intellectual, but they are all money driven. So they are not able to guide the government. And what about the what to speak about the legislature? So there is no democracy is supposed to have demonstrated a superior standard than a kingship or dictatorship, but that is not happening. So that is leading to so many dissatisfied voters, so many nota voters, and so many non-voters. So the problem is still not getting solved. How can people be happy without religion and God consciousness? Here Prabhupada writes, the rogues exact taxes from the citizens for their own sense enjoyment, and in the future people will be so much harassed that according to Srimad Bhagavatam, they will flee from their homes and country and take shelter of the forest. However, in Kali Yuga, democratic government can be captured by Krishna conscious people. This can be done. The general populace may become very happy. So, this type of God centered Krishna conscious government, if it is introduced, then people will be happy. Leaders of the government must be very honest and religious, because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer. Here is what Srila Prabhupada writes. Unfortunately, in the name of democracy, rogues and thieves are electing other rogues and thieves to the most important post in the government. Yes, that is what is happening. Now, what is the responsibility of the leaders then? The leaders should protect the citizens. And who are the citizens? Is it the human beings who are the citizens alone? No. The leaders are responsible to protect each and every citizen, be it humans, be it animals, be it every living entity. So, yes, the leaders should protect the animals also of the country. They cannot have slaughterhouses where they are killing millions and millions of chickens and cows and goats. That's not the protection. Protection should be administered. So, what are the responsibilities of the leaders? They should protect every citizen. Every citizen means humans, animals, everyone. And they should demonstrate high standard of morality. Corruption is there because morality is not there. People are selfish and the leaders are selfish. So, definitely people are doing the right thing by rejecting this system. And now it's not the question of just the leaders, it's the question of Election Commission of India to demonstrate this, that they have commitment towards the right leaders. Yes, it's at least minimum we can expect from our Election Commission, that they reject those nominations which have slight tinge of corruption. There is so much corruption, there is so much scams, scandals, so many things are going on. Can't we even expect that the Election Commission rejects such nominations? That is the first responsibility of theirs. What is the second responsibility of theirs? Second responsibility, now that these elections are over, the Election Commission has 5 years' time. They should work very hard to increase the standard of morality among the voters. See, I work hard to find out which is the best party, who is the best candidate. I take statistics from different websites, I study different books, I do lot of research and hard work and come up with the final analysis that I have to vote X candidate and I have to vote X party. And there is another person next to me who is given 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, and he votes for the same, he votes for a particular party. Both of us have one vote. Is this system right? Is this the right system? I request the people of India to question this. So, unless this system is rectified, unless there is a standard of morality among voters, unless the standard of voters is increased, there is no solution for this. And it's the responsibility of Election Commission to work hard to increase the standard of morality among voters. And our proposal is that unless people are God conscious, they cannot be good voters. What are the standards of God consciousness? At least they should have mercy on other living beings. They should not harm them, they should not hurt them. People like murderers and all are definitely not suitable. Murderers of human beings are not suitable. What to speak of murderers of animals? So, unless a person doesn't eat meat, he is not stable. He is not suitable for this responsible position of voting. Then, next, you cannot be a person who speaks lies. You cannot be a person who plays with money. So, no gambling, no such wrong use of funds, no corruption. This is the second principle that a person should follow. The third principle that a person should follow is, yes, he should not indulge in intoxication, because intoxication is a weakness of a person. Suppose I am addicted to alcohol, suppose I am addicted to smoking, that is my weakness. And it's very easy to trap such weak people. A person who is intoxicated, just give him some intoxication, show him the wrong path, and he is ready for that. So, yes, no intoxication should be the third principle. And how can a person without a good character be a right candidate for giving such a responsible thing as his vote? So, they should not have illicit sexual relationship. Relationship should be illicit, should be within marriage. These are the principles, these are the strong principles, the four regulatory principles which are according to Shastras. They should be followed by every individual. Then he will be the right candidate to vote. And next, he should be serious about God consciousness. God is the creator of the whole universe. So, this God is giving us all the basic necessities. How can a person who doesn't have morality with God, who exploits his natural resources, can have any good qualities? It's not possible. So, this is necessary that they should have the right attitude of spirituality, God consciousness. Otherwise, it's not possible. And if the election commissioner needs help, the members of Krishna consciousness are willing to help you. We will propagate the message of Bhagavad Gita as it is to the people of India. And in this way, this was the first change of coalition, change of government that had happened. When the wrong government was in power, then Krishna brought in this beautiful message of Bhagavad Gita and changed the government, and a glorious king like Maharaj Yudhishthira was installed on the throne. So, this type of change, if it is required, training people on the principles of Bhagavad Gita is very mandatory today. So, that is why it's the time that election commission wakes up. They cannot just advertise you, unless you have vote you don't have right to speak. You cannot you cannot make such a propaganda. It's your responsibility to file the right candidates, reject the wrong candidates, make sure that the right voters come. There is no need to have universal adult franchise where every Tom, Dick and Harry is voted. So I am happy to show, after the 7 phases of voting, I am happy to show my colorless fingers to everyone. So this is my mark of protest against the election commission, because they have not filed the right candidate and they have not selected the right voters. And if the people of India are serious for good leaders, they should understand that by such selfish democracy, it is not going to happen. I kindly invite the people of India to demonstrate your colorless fingers as a campaign against this election commission, and let them seriously work towards increasing the morality, religiousness among people, and that way a change will come in society. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.